Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on August 8th, 2021 at approximately 4:12 p.m. PST. Well, today seems to be a little scattered, in case you hadn't noticed. But that being said, we can still make it. I'm looking all over the place. My apologies. Well, not really. I mean, that's just me. Anyway, another day in a very confused and twisted week. So what I'm trying to do is figure out where I'm actually starting and working from there. Where I'm starting is actually pretty simple. Okay, I've been working on getting things organized, on trying to figure out which way to go first. And I keep getting myself turned back around. Needless to say, when I said it's one step at a time. Okay, very important to come up with some sort of a direction. Pick a goal that you've got. In this case, I'm going to lay it out this way. Yeah, I'm going to lay it out this way. While I'm sitting here, I'm just going to make sure that I get everything organized in the right order. I did get a whole pile done the other day, and actually I can give you that piece of information. I just have to find out which screen it's on. Right there. Go on there, and we are... Jumping Jiminy, we are definitely a little sidetracked here. Okay, I'm looking at my screen right now. In case you're wondering why I keep looking odd directions, I've got the screen here, the laptop here, I've got one monitor over here, and another monitor over here. So I just have to remember which one I'm on. Now, as far as the three major goals that I've got going on, okay, one, and this is a critical priority today. Okay, now understand, everybody in existence is in exactly the same boat. You are, however you got to where you are right now, right this moment, is where you're starting. Okay, you can't do a thing about how you got here. Doesn't matter what shape you're in, financially, physically, doesn't matter. How you got there doesn't count. Where you are is what matters. Okay, now, I have no doubt that you've made mistakes, same as I have. Done really stupid things, done things that you've considered, that you've regretted doing. Okay, now understand, to me, stupid simply means you knew better and you did it anyway. Okay, I love the way it was defined to me one day, that insanity is best described as repeatedly doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Okay, so that said, the big message I return to bring to people is very simple. Working together, we can make this entire existence a lot better for the majority of people. Okay, regardless of how you got to where you are, you're still in exactly the same place. And right here, right now, is the only time that you can ever change anything. You can talk about what you should have done. You can talk about what you would like to do. But the reality is, it's only in the right here, right now, that you can actually make adjustments. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Right now, I can't show you. But frankly, my desk right this moment is a disaster. So, here's what I'm doing. Okay, as soon as I get done this, I'm just putting a list together to clear my office out of to get my office sorted around this workstation. Okay. And I'm just literally containing things, sort of. Where is... I thought I had a garbage can here. Apparently I was mistaken. Oh well. So, what I'm doing is, this side of my desk right here, I'm just moving everything off it. You'll find when you start changing things around, you'll find that that things look a lot worse before they look better. Okay. So, all I'm doing is taking everything and getting it all in one location, and then I'll start peeling it from there. Okay, now I've got a station here that I can work on. Okay, this side of my desk is now, it's got all the stuff moved off it. Now let's see. That drawer has got all my zip drives in it. That drawer has my stamps. Third one has paper clips. Fourth one has, what are they called? Shoot, can't remember what. Oh, I don't remember what they're called, but these little things. Got a drawer full of those. And my lighters. That's empty. And then we go over here. And I've got my simple medications, like my Halls and what have you, just in case I need them. That's a whole pile of erasers. Business cards. My tarot deck. Yes, I'm a professional psychic. And I hate that term in all fairness. Okay, personally, like a psychic, and I finally figured out what I don't like about it. Okay, and it's the same thing, and these are just little labels, so that's good. Okay, so that side of my desk is good, because this shelf up here has different figures from the Yldrbacian Chronicles. Now, the ones up here, I do not know, I'm just going to see, do they actually have a make on them? James Roman Nemesis now. Now, this was not, this particular figure I stumbled across by accident. Okay. Now, as it turns out, this figure worked out beautifully. It gives me great inspiration for writing. Okay, because it happens to match this character here. Okay, and this one. Both have to match real solid characters that are in the Yldrbacian Chronicles. They are not mainstream characters, but I keep these ones up here as inspiration. That little dragon was the child dragon. This would be the mother. And again, these were not designed for the Yldrbacian Chronicles. I stumbled across them, and they fit the descriptions perfectly, so I worked with it. Okay. And then we've got this one here. This would be Lakshan and Catalina Shorman. Again, not primary characters, but they matched beautifully. And I stumbled across them, so I picked them up. Still have to talk to I've still got to talk to my tax accountant, I don't know what you want to call her. Anyway, the specialist, to find out if, because of how they fit in, okay, I've got to talk to her to see whether or not that can be done anything with. Now, this particular little thing here, as I said, with the books, okay, with the Yldrbacian Chronicles, I'm a gamer. I play D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and various other games. Okay, and I'm sure if you play D&D, you've seen these before. Well, this particular case is designed for the books. Okay, you can see right on the, well, you can't actually read it very well. You can see there's writing. There you go. That's not bad. I think you can read that. Number one, what is it? Set 1 of 10. Okay, of the Yldrbacian, from Yldrbac. And what does it literally say? It says Yldrbac Limited Edition, set 1 of 10. Actually have to change it to that direction. And let's see if we can get the light on it. There we go. You can't really read it well. But it's set 1 of 10. Now, some sets have already gone to other people. But again, that was designed for the movie. Now, of course, or for the books. Now, of course, that's all set up here, and I've got my sign up here, which reminds me, I've got to do that today too, and I will absolutely make certain I get that done. I've got a sign up here that says, we have legally attained a minimum of X dollars by, now that one says May 31st. And frankly, I've got to change it because I haven't upgraded it. I've got to change that one to August. So for you, X is however much it costs you to run your house. Rent, utilities, food, insurance, okay, transportation, all of that. However much it costs you, call that number X and take a sheet of paper, and on that sheet, write down, I have legally attained a minimum of X dollars by August 31st, 2021. Okay, it sounds loopy. I acknowledge that. But I will tell you, everything I've seen, it helps draw the money to you to attain the goals that you've got. If you don't have a way that's working already, give that one a shot. Don't just take my word for it. Do your own research. Now, I do hope that we get a thumbs up, that you like the video. That said, subscribe to the channel and remember to ring the alarm bell, the alert bell, to let you know when the next one comes up. I am doing my best, which apparently isn't great, to get on a static pattern, but that seems to be a little bit scattered right now. Not entirely certain why. I've got my suspicions, but I do know that when you fall off track, getting back on track is the first priority, which is why I'm starting right now. And I've just walked through what I've done with the right-hand side. Okay, with this side of my desk. I've got a number of magnets on my filing cabinet right here, with various things to say. Things like this one here. This is a fridge magnet that says, "I'm not weird, I'm gifted." If people call you weird, just say thank you. Okay. Weird is simply that which you don't understand. The reason the things that I don't understand don't bother me is because, well, frankly, I'm one of those things that people don't understand. Okay, so I've got my clear table on this side, which means I can now start moving things forward. And of course, I did get my coffee pot. Okay, not the urn that I was looking for, but I had another coffee pot that I put back to use. It's amazing how that works. I hadn't used that coffee pot in 5 years. Right. So, but what I did was I put it aside just in case. Turns out it was a good thing. That's what I get for being a pack rat. Okay. So, what I'm doing here is just making certain that once I get this video done, I get on with the other things, just go through them one at a time, and make sure I clear them properly. Okay. Some of them I'm going to start on right now because, well, frankly, that's the way I work. Okay. That's a recycling bin down there. Now, the thing is, working together, we can make this a better world. Okay, for most people. Now, there's almost always going to be those people that go, well, I deserve more than everybody else, and I can, everybody should bow down and do what I like. Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm told constantly that, that war is necessary, it's inevitable. It's a necessary, it's good for the economy. Well, let's eliminate a couple of things. War is only inevitable as long as people keep doing the thing, keep ignoring karmic law. Karmic law says very simply, be true to yourself, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Now, what that really boils down to, all three of those laws are equally important. Just like the 3 legs in a 3-legged stool. Every one of them is as important as the next, because if one is short, the stool falls over. Now, if you think about it, if you build civilization on a platform of those 3 laws, now it's going to take a long time to get that turned around. I'm fully aware of this. And much as one person cannot change the world, not in a massive sense, one person will change everybody's world around them. By being nice, just see what happens if you're just nice to somebody around you and see how well that carries forward. Okay, it doesn't take money to smile at somebody. It doesn't take money to say hello. Okay, now society has done some interesting things. Right now, society has this neat little idea. We're going to have all these different religions. If you look at the guidelines of all of the religions, everyone I've come across anyway, which includes Christianity, Judaism, the Church of Satan, the Muslim faith, the Cree faith, what they call New Age, or the pagan faith, which, by the way, is way older than Christianity is, or any of the other mainstreams. Okay. There's a lot of other ones out there. But every one of the ones that I've looked at, okay, have literally, if you look at the guidelines, they all fit inside those three that I talked about already. Now, here's the thing. All of these religions talk about a better world. They talk about love your neighbor. Okay, most of them talk about love your neighbor. I've seen some that have gotten way off track. But they talk about working together, about having peace on earth. Well, peace on earth is only a concept until people start working with it. Now, war has never brought peace. Okay. And considering the fact that religions are, as far as I understand it, about 80% of wars out there have been started by religion or in the name of religion, it may be wise to question the people you're following, not the religion. The religion is up to you. But the person standing at the front of the church or at the front of the temple or at the head of the coven, whatever, or the person leading a support group, ask yourself this. Are they following the guidelines that they're talking about? Okay. Now, I talk about charity, about helping other people. I don't have a lot of money. I am not a millionaire by any functional stretch. And yet I will, when I've got the money, I will buy somebody a dinner, buy somebody, something that they require, or simply like I did with a recliner. I was getting rid of a recliner. It was still in really good shape, but it needed to go. I didn't sell the thing. Okay. I turned around and gave it, I asked this neighbor, I says, look, I'm getting rid of the recliner. Do you have any use for it? And he says, well, what did you want for, how much did you want for it? I said, I don't know, about 7 square feet of room on my floor. Right. I didn't take any money from him. I could have charged, and people would say, well, you could have got $20. I probably could have. But I've gotten a lot of good use out of it. Okay. I wanted it off my floor. He had a use for it, and from my standpoint, there was no point to charging him for it. It had already been paid for. Canadian law says you can't charge tax on something that's already been taxed. And yet, they have all these secondhand stores that you have to pay tax at, which to me is, well, frankly, it's blatantly breaking the law. If the law says you cannot charge tax on something that's already been taxed, then having a secondhand store that works on donations, where you're actually selling the products, all of a sudden you've got a conflict here. Okay. Now, that being said, working together, once something is made, once something is paid for, do you really have to make more money off it? The world, people tell me money is the root of all evil. Well, money's not. Money is simply a barter system. It's an agreed upon value. Same as moving cattle around, but in my opinion, it's a lot easier to move a $10 bill around than it is to move a cow. Okay, a lot easier to take care of, too. Although, admittedly, it's easier to lose a $10 bill than it is to lose a cow. Okay, but, this idea of helping each other is the critical factor. And you'll notice, especially, and I hate to bring this up, I really do, but even when well, not really, but anyway, when we take a look at this disaster we're going through right now, COVID is still going on. But not once has somebody said, I didn't get COVID because I believe in Christ. And COVID certainly did not look at you and at anybody and go, excuse me, but how much money do you make this year? I just want to check, because if I'm going to infect you, I want to make sure that I'm getting only the poor people. COVID doesn't do that. The fires that are rampaging all over Western Canada, all over, the Western states, they aren't checking to see if you donated to a charity. They're not checking to see who you're interested in. They're just burning everything down that happens to be in the way. Okay. And the fires are taking out people's homes, businesses. They're taking out animals' homes, animals' places to relax. They're taking out plants, and the plants have their rights to live. Now, I'm a little odd. I look at all things. as equally valuable. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I'm not talking monetarily. Okay, but we've got people fighting over really, really dense things in my eyes. Now, yes, like I said, I'm a little strange. I am a pacifist. Okay, as in, I don't fight. I would sooner walk away from a fight than get into one. Hence why, at 58 years old, aside from fights with my brothers when I was younger and the bullying I went through, I managed to never get into a fight. Okay, much as I deal with people that have criminal records, I have never even gotten so much as a speeding ticket. This doesn't mean I didn't speed. Okay, but working together, we can make this a better world. And I will tell you, one of the keys to that is take a look at your world. Okay, at your specific world. Step aside from family, from friends, from all of it, and look at you personally and go, are you content with the way your world is? For me, I'm not content with the way my what the heck can we call this, a desk. I'm not content with the state of my office, so as soon as I get done this video, that will be the first thing I deal with. I've got half of it done while I'm sitting here. Now, when we take a look at finance, I'm hearing now, because we're going through this thing and it's being prolonged. Now, I will tell you, I take a look at it, and we are in a very serious problem. Fortunately, in my case, I'm sort of lucky in a way. See, I remember past lives, and I remember the Black Death. And I don't mean I remember I remember reading about it. I mean, I remember living through it. But we are talking past life memories. Am I going to prove it? No. And I like the way it was put one day to me. When you're trying to tell somebody something, understand, okay, whether you believe what I'm telling you or whether you don't, I cannot do anything about. Okay, but the way it was put to me was, those that believe do not require proof, and those that don't believe, there is no proof possible. Okay. It was also told to me very clearly that I'm not the way I was told is, never explain yourself to somebody, because your friends don't require an explanation and your enemies don't deserve one. Okay. I tend to do my best to explain what I'm up to anyway, because it's those tools and those philosophies that I personally work with on a day-to-day level that have managed to get me into the state that I'm in, into the shape that I'm in right now. Okay, my stress level has gone to an all-time low. I'm not in perfect health. I'm not in perfect shape. Okay, not from my standpoint, and certainly not from the doctors. But I am feeling a lot better about me than I have been for a very long time. Okay, so the neat part about all of this is, when I talk about the tools that I personally use, every one of the tools that I'm talking about, if it applies to me, I put to use. Now, does this mean that I'm perfect at it? Not even close. Okay. But does it mean I will keep going at it? When you fall off track, when you get off track and you turn around, whoop, I gotta mark that down here before I get rid of that. When you get off track, okay, it happens, no matter how hard you try not to. The reality for me is this: I spent 56 years going down the wrong road. Well, it's only taken me 2 to really figure out what I was doing wrong. Okay. What I'm writing here, in the Yldrbacian Chronicles, which is a 12-volume set that I'm in the middle of writing. The first one, The Birth of the Wolf Pack, is already out. Those figures I showed you, some of them are from, well, the one with the lounge chair, this one here, is actually one of the characters. Now, this is one of the minor characters from The Birth of the Wolf Pack. This one won't come out until book 12, I think. Okay. Which gives you an idea how long the other one lasts. But what I'm marking down is, I've got part of the story. Whoop, that was wrong. Sure. Let the brain go right on hold. making notes of things that I do have to get organized. Pardon the noise. Like I said, I've got a recycling bin below me here. By staying on top of things, I can eliminate a lot of the problems I deal with. Okay, but when you fall off track, come right out and get back on the wheel. Get back on the track you're on. You will fall off it. Absolutely. Now, it took me 56 years to go, this isn't working. Now that it has, I've been fighting with it for 2 years, and I'm finally figuring out a formula that is working quite nicely. If I could stay on top of it, that'd be great, but old habits are a real pain in the neck. Okay. Old habits, old addictions are a royal pain in the neck. Okay. So from that standpoint, it does take time to turn them around, and you'll fall back off of the, as it were, fall off the wagon. You'll fall into a rut. You'll get back into that routine of doing the same old thing, and then you'll stop and you go, wait a minute, I did this before and I wasn't happy before, so I'm not staying there. Okay. Very important to realize that the only person on the planet that can, and the only person in existence that can be successful for you is you. You're the only one that can do it. And therefore, it is up to you to decide, I'm not content with the way my life is. Now, if you look at the bottom of these videos, if you've got questions, or when you've got questions, drop me a line in the notes, or look down below. There's a whole list of ways of getting in touch with me. A whole pile of different ways you can reach out to me. When you've got a question, regardless of what the field. I've been working in the consulting field on personal and business things for, well, let's see, I started in '86, so we're now looking at 45 years. 45 years? 35 years. Yeah, 30, there we go. By the way, this is a live recording, meaning that I don't go back and edit anything. I go back, double check, make sure I got the date right, and then carry on. Okay, but I've been working on personal, business, UFO abduction and alien technology, as well as ancient races, for 35 years now. Well, technically, I've been doing it for 58, since it started the day I was born. But, that said, I'm going to bring this to a close. I will be back again tomorrow at some point. Okay, until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.